खाए।
2 दिन पहले मैंने भाभी जी को मार्केट में देखा, किसी आदमी के साथ।
Honorable Prime Minister, Mananiya Narendra Modi ji, the Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Antonio Guterres, my senior colleagues in the Council of Ministers, respected Sushma Swaraj ji, respected Uma Bharati ji, respected Manoj Sinha ji, and respected Ramesh ji, visiting dignitaries, ministers from over 50 countries, participants from over 68 countries, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathered here this morning not only to celebrate the birth of a great son of India, but that of a philosophy that had the effect of altering the course of history, not only in India, but throughout the world. Today, as we mark the commencement of the celebrations for the 150th birth anniversary of the Mahatma, as we mark the culmination of 4 years of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and enter the final phase of the Swachh Bharat mission, it would be useful to recall that the Mahatma, in fact, laid more emphasis on Swachhta and sanitation than he did for the freedom of India. In fact, it was in 1916, when he was speaking at the Banaras Hindu University, that he said that Swachhta is even more important than political freedom. And he commenced the struggle which ultimately culminated in India becoming an independent country 1 year later in 1917 from Champaran. India won its freedom not because of the English-educated liberal lawyers, but India attained freedom when the Mahatma was able to transform an elitist demand for this freedom of India into a mass struggle, which resulted in success in 1947. Honorable Prime Minister, speaking from the ramparts of the Red Fort on 15th August 2014, outlined his dream that we owe a debt to the Mahatma, that by the time we celebrate his 150th birth anniversary on 2nd October 2019, India should be Swachh 100% open defecation free with 100% solid waste management. These Swachhta targets which were set out then involved not only an infrastructure project but much more. It involved a paradigmatic shift because it involved a behavioral shift. And it is with a great deal of satisfaction that we can gather here today and say that the sanitation cover, which in 2014 was approximately 40% for Indians, today is more than double that we have succeeded not only in meeting most of the physical targets. 500,000 villages are now open defecation free, 300 cities are open defecation free, and that the ODF and ODF plus protocols that are being put into place will ensure that we become completely solid waste management in a manner which transforms the country. Now, this campaign for Swachhta, again, could not have been completed, and I must frankly confess that when the Honorable Prime Minister outlined the objectives, many thought they were too ambitious. There were some cynical voices, but then these 4 years have witnessed a project of the government becoming a project of the people with passion, zeal, and commitment. And today we are in a situation in which SDG 6, Mr. Secretary General, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, for which you have provided very strong leadership, and a goal which along with the other SDGs was to be completed by 2030, we are more than confident, Mr. Secretary General, that by the time we celebrate the 150th birth anniversary of the Mahatma, 1 year from now, we would have completed that aspect and that segment of our listing. The previous set of Millennium Development Goals, or the MDGs, succeeded largely because a large developing country, China, succeeded in lifting millions of people out of poverty, with some help from countries like India and others ably represented in this room. The Sustainable Development Goals will succeed because India will succeed. And here I must make the submission that whilst the Sustainable Development Goals were adopted by the United Nations in September 2015, our Prime Minister had already outlined the Swachhta campaign in a speech from the ramparts of the Red Fort 1 year and 1 month earlier in August 2014. All the other flagship programs of the Prime Minister, the Amrut scheme, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana or Affordable Housing Scheme, and the Smart City scheme, which involves 100 smart cities, 90 of them involving retrofitting of brownfield projects. These taken collectively represent the most ambitious and comprehensive plan for planned urbanization undertaken anywhere in the world. We have been able to ensure this thanks to the inspiring and determined leadership of the Prime Minister, because these objectives, as indeed do the SDGs, resonate in Indian philosophy, from Sarvodaya to Antodaya, to the farthest first, so that no one is left behind. We have been carrying out annual Swachhta Sarvekshans or assessments on how these targets are being met. And Mr. Secretary General, there is, as indeed in the UN, not only a rejoicing of those who do well, but there is also a gentle process of naming and shaming who need to catch up. But today, as we celebrate this event, I extend a hearty welcome to all foreign visitors. And you would have seen in the last few days that you have been here that this is a project which is not only an Indian project because it is being carried out here, but with all humility we believe that we will be enriched by the sharing of experience which the foreign dignitaries and delegates will bring. And equally we hope in turn you will benefit, and maybe collectively we can work on a template that serves as a model for the rest of the world. Thank you very much.